A frase que melhor resume este ensino é a seguinte: somos nós, através da força do nosso campo emocional, que podemos mudar a força do plasma, e é por isso que a emoção é tão importante, e é por isso que eu coloco tanta ênfase na emoção. Mas vamos começar com o contexto. Cada GANs tem sua própria cor de acordo com a força do campo e, em geral, eles não se misturam, apenas sob certas condições. O que está no micro também está no macro. O Sr. Keshe está nos ensinando que este processo de transmutação da energia do plasma em diferentes plasmas é a mesma coisa que está ocorrendo no estado material. Por exemplo, a água ou H2O no estado da matéria como gelo se transforma de sólido em líquido por aquecimento, e depois em estado gasoso sob a forma de vapor. Em seguida, por resfriamento, transforma-se de novo em líquido e gelo sólido. Testemunhamos essas transformações entre estados de existência o tempo todo, mas não nos damos conta do que isso realmente significa. Então a transmutação e o transporte de elementos do estado da matéria está ocorrendo o tempo todo, é um processo natural esse. Então não há nada a temer. Quando faço chá pela manhã, fico com vapor em minha janela se a temperatura estiver fria lá fora. Eu apenas transportei as moléculas de H2O do meu bule para as janelas e as remanifestei como gotas líquidas de H2O. É isso que a unidade de voo faz. As transformações no estado da matéria são realizadas através da mudança na temperatura e na pressão. Isto nos foi ensinado quando éramos crianças em nossas escolas. O que não nos ensinaram é que dentro de nós, através da força de campo de nossas emoções, podemos fazer o mesmo tipo de transformações no estado de plasma. Este é o trabalho da alma do homem, ou que é conhecido como a força de campo da posição central de nossa existência. Assim, a alma do homem gera forças de campo que transformam tudo o que experimentamos em nosso mundo. Fazemos isso mudando a força do campo magnético do ambiente do estado da matéria, que muda o estado da matéria dentro dele. Por exemplo, isso foi mencionado muitas vezes que quando um pai tem problemas com seu filho, através de sua emoção ele cria o câncer de próstata. O belo GANs que deu vida ao seu filho, agora através da mudança de emoção muda a força do campo magnético no corpo para produzir um estado sólido, conhecido como câncer de próstata. É o mesmo estado, mas uma emoção diferente. Quando uma pessoa se torna emocionalmente mais gravitacional, dizemos que ela é fria como uma pedra. Agora entendemos o que realmente significa psicossomático, e que é verdade isso. Nós nos manifestamos de acordo com nossas emoções. O cérebro criou uma estrutura de campo magnético para as emoções através da interação da alma do homem com a alma da fisicalidade. Nossa ciência descobriu que certas áreas do cérebro controlam certas emoções. Agora vamos mais longe ainda com a ciência do plasma e aprendemos a controlar esta nave espacial, ou até mesmo este planeta que chamamos corpo do homem. Por que alguns elétrons se juntam e outros não, apesar de parecerem iguais? Na química, eles criaram o que a gente chama de ligações covalentes, que é quando os elétrons interagem entre si, ou aceitam se unir para formar uma nova substância. Na vida humana, chamamos isso de se apaixonar. Este ensinamento explica sobre as energias de plasma e como elas se tornam vírus. O Sr. Keshe até explica como, ajustando a força do plasma, você pode criar diferentes vírus. Acho que todos nós temos nos perguntado o que é realmente a reencarnação. Esta é uma bela explicação. Talvez a reencarnação seja a palavra errada. Através de nossa emoção e várias outras condições, nós nos manifestamos em um determinado ambiente como homem, animal, planta ou o que quer que seja de acordo com as condições presentes para encontrar um equilíbrio. Se não encontrarmos um equilíbrio, então permanecemos em uma condição não manifestada. Há mais aqui, mas vamos finalizar por aqui. Na dimensão do plasma, não se pode fazer coisas erradas, porque todos os plasmas e energias têm que aceitar a nova condição. Estamos tão acostumados à escravidão e a escravizar outros, que pensamos que é uma condição normal e correta essa. Isso faz você querer chorar de alegria, que finalmente encontrei uma ciência que reflete o que minha alma sempre soube. Esse amor é a verdade do universo, e eu tenho o poder dentro de mim para ser esse amor e servir aos outros. Através desse entendimento correto, o plasma se iluminará para mim. Obrigado.
Of gases, different colors sitting on top of each other, where we say gases don't mix. How many times you have created gases in your system and you see the green in one place, white in the other, different shade of whites together? Because the same as in the world of matter state, gases, plasmas have the same interference, they have the same separation, they have the same interaction with each other. Now we can explain scientifically, and we can create a condition that shows the science of the new plasma is correct in both matter state and the plasma state, because the matter state itself is another plasma state, but in a different condition of field forces. In the world of matter state, we have learned, we change the pressure, we change the temperature. We start from the water when the matter state, or we can start in what I call ice as a solid state. Heat it up, we get the liquid. Heat it up, we boil it, we get the steam. We heat it up beyond the steam, we get the separation. What happens? How do we heat up in plasma state? How do we create a condition of separation of fields of the plasma? There is no heating. We have confirmed that in many researches and many developments in the reactors. In the condition of the matter state, we change atmospheric pressure and temperature to change the manifestation of the physicality. What do we do in the plasma state? We can't heat up, nothing happens. In the plasma state, we change the strength of the magnetic field of the environment. This leads to interaction of more fields or less fields of the plasma with its environment, and it creates and directionally indicates which way it is going. Is it losing or is it gaining energy from its environment? One color up in green is gaining, one color down in yellow is losing. One color up in green, it means I'm a lover. It means I want to give. I see the soul in that green color. I rejoice because I can attain something from it. It can elevate me. I go and see the brown. Do I have to give enough? My job is, my responsibility is to give enough to elevate it to my color at least, or elevate it to become a green that it can give to the others. We change the environment by addition of fields. In matter state, we change the condition by heating, by pressure. Would it come to the point that if we change the magnetic field of the environment of the matter state, we'll see the change in the matter state of the body of the man, or in the water? Of course we will, but we never understood this. This is the job of the soul of the man. This is the job of the central position, strength, field forces of the existence. You have a problem with your son. You change the beautiful gases which gave life to it, to the solid state more to create a cancer. State is the same. How come a soul decides to go to the strength that become a stone? Still has a feeling, but it cocooned itself in it. In the world of what we call astrophysics or cosmology, or anything to do with the space travel in the universe, what happens if you enter an environment that you feel for soul to survive? It needs to be in a given state. Doesn't matter how long it takes. You become a stone. You become a rock. You change the feel of it. You're still inside, aware of the environment, what's happening. But staying at the rock is good for me. I can survive till I find a solution. Or it's another position, I just stay. Or I want to become a shape of the entity at the point of manifestation, feel the strength. Then you understand. It's us through the emotion, feel the strength, that we can change the strength of the plasma. This is why emotion is so important. And this is why maybe for the first time you understand why I put so much emphasis on the emotion. Emotion is that additional heating. Emotion is that additional feel, the strength of the soul of the man in conjunction with the soul of the position decides to manifest itself to distance or to come closer. When you take Earth and move it back to Saturn and Jupiter position, you get gaseous. Move it, change the field of strength and bring it forward. You get more solid with less and no gases. Isn't this what happened to the life of the man? At a young age, when we are born, everything is free and interactive. As we add emotion to it, we create cancer, we create sadness, we create love, we create children. So we understand the strength, the change, what is to be manifested in the dimension of the physicality of the life of the man is the strength of the emotion, magnetic fields of the emotion, which adds to the soul, and the soul of the position and time and space changes what was created out of love, becomes the point of death and creation of cancer. The breast which feeds the child becomes the breast which creates cancer through the emotion that leads to the death of the mother. Now you understand why from the beginning we continuously emphasize on emotion. Emotion is that temperature, is that pressure which changes the interaction of the field of the plasma, and mankind has never understood. We call it psychosomatic, but somaticism comes out of the cycle, so out of the emotion, psychological pressures and strength. When we look at the brain of the man and we look at the structure of the different strengths of the different points, then we understand how even the emotion is created. And then we understand we have parallel. We change the temperature, we increase it, we melt the ice, we melt the gold, we increase the love, the emotion of giving. We become givers, open up. There is no difference. We have chosen the same emotional effect to two different strengths of the field of the environment, because the heat itself is a magnetic field interaction. Then we understand. This is why I continuously in past teaching try to explain the soul, the matter state, the soul, the matter state, that one day the knowledge seekers become wise. We chose in the past the same word for the same thing in different positions and application. We've done the same in the world of creation, world of matter state, world of the creation of the soul. If I take love from you, you die. You become cold, you can't move because the love is not there. But I fell in love. Now I don't receive the love. I want to die. I want to go inside and not exist. Become a stone. I lower the temperature. I get ice. I heat up the temperature. I get liquid and vapor to be spread among the whole environment. This is where the world of science becomes important for us in the plasma technology. I reach at the point destination in space, that I want to taste, I want to feel, I want the emotion of the environment. I created the plasma, that the soul converts into the dimension of some of its strength into the matter state of the position and time in a given distance and position, but the soul can keep its integrity. The tip of the finger, the tip of the tail of the whale, distance from its soul. This is what mankind has to understand. He is in possession of that heating and the pressure called emotion. We have chosen the same word, magnetical and gravitational, heating and pressure, increasing the temperature or reducing the temperature. In essence, it's the same. We create expansion, we create dimension of openness within the structure. And then, if you understand this, then we understand why electron is being created, how some electrons interact with each other. I asked Rick before the teaching, go into the Wikipedia, and if you can, please find covalent bond. Why do we call in the world of chemistry covalent bond? What does it mean? Isn't it a point where the fields of the electrons can share and be together? We have chosen love as a covalent, where we can stay together. We can fall in love. In the size and the dimension of the life of the man, we call it falling in love, emotion of interaction. Now, it's the time to understand how we can bring the soul of the man to become matter state, and how the soul of the physicality of the man can become the soul of the man in interaction and become what we call the covalent, which is the physicality of the man in interaction with the soul of the man and soul of physicality of the man. We coexist. And with it, we lead to the creation of the man. We lead to the manifestation of the new understanding of life. Now we understand, if one electron from one atom shares its energy with another electron in another atom, doesn't matter how many other electrons are in there, and these two want to be together, the atoms come together. But they have to have the same strength. They have to have the same structural field strength. In fact, a covalent bond is the relationship between the magnetic fields of 2 electrons or 4 electrons. And the rest have to accept. And in all structures, you always find is there are some lovers. This is what mankind has to understand. Because at a point in space, you want to become physical. You want to show yourself. You create a wrong strength of the emotion. You leave the door open for the whole universe, that now I'm free, take what you like, and the demise of the soul. If you understand the control of the emotion, I want to be, but in respect to the fields of this environment, I want to see how my soul in the dimension of physicality will show on the surface of the moon or in the atmosphere of the planet Zeus. This is what we have to learn. We have to understand, that allows us to become the man of the universe. This allows us to be able to transmute between the manifestation of the physicality and manifestation of the fields called plasma. Doesn't matter what strength that plasma has, at one point or another, in another strength field, will be manifesting itself, will be showing itself. And then, what do we call it? And then, by changing the temperature in the room, we see that mystery created in the pot from the ice becomes the water drops on the window with the change of the temperature of the environment. Where on the environment on the cooking pot, given the strength, given temperature, given certain pressures, the water boils, the matter becomes a steam, and in the environment. And then in that environment, it's a different condition. We change the temperature and the pressure, we convert it back into the steam on the window. We give it the dimension of manifestation. The life of the man will be the same. The soul of the man is that environment of the room. And in interaction with the fields of the what we call its environment, outside it, creates its physical manifestation. The strength of the fields which interact dictates the position and condition of the manifestation of the what we call the plasma in respect to this environment. In a given environment, in a given condition, a field when it interacts with a matter state will create its own position and condition, what we call like viruses. You will take the same cell and change the strength of the fields of the plasma energy and bring them together. You see, sometimes they interact. You see, sometimes they don't, because they don't have a common denominator field, even though they respect each other's position. But once they interact as a given field of strength, you get that what you call virus. What happened if I tweak with the strength of the plasma before I introduce it to its plasma condition, the gas state, what we call the amino acid? It becomes hepatitis. It becomes AIDS. Tweak it a little bit, it becomes corona, and tweak it a little bit, it becomes every other virus we want to call it. We change the field of strength and interaction with the, what we call matter state condition of environment. Then you decide the manifestation of how these two show themselves, maybe as a crown, maybe as a different shape or format. In a way, there is no difference between the knowledge of the creation. Is man who has not understood this. Is man, through the lack of understanding of the world of interaction of the fields of the universe, has not managed to understand this position. But if I can create an environment that in this environment, this plasma has and wants to find a new position, then I can prepare that this plasma into any direction in the universe, be it to the boundary of the body of the man to make the shape of the man, be it the boundary of the galaxy or universe. Once we understand this, we understand the new transportation and transmutation of the element at the same time. This is where I put you into the vertical enhancement unit. I change you into plasma energy. I take you across to another dimension. I create the field of it. You'll come as a fish. And in another, you'll be a dog. And in another, you'll be a man from the planet Zeus. In fact, the center is the same soul, but in respect to the condition of its environment, has manifested itself in interaction of the emotion of the fields of itself and the environment to the thing with the soul would like to be to find its balance. We have the incarnation of the soul, or do we have the incarnation of the man? Or in the word incarnation is the wrong word to use, is understanding the field, position, and time in respect to evaluation and the manifestation of the soul. Do I reincarnate you from one machine to another? Or do I carry the soul and then the physicality reincarnates it according to the position of that machine? I can put a machine on planet Zeus and a machine on Earth. I create the field that the soul of the man becomes one in the soul of physicality within it. I take you to the planet Zeus and I put you in the same machine with the field, the strength of the environment up there. The soul will come is to exist in the middle. And the physicality of the entity will have 20 arms, a head the size of a mouse, and arms the size of the planet. Because that's what dictates to keep the balance of the physicality, soul of physicality, and the soul of the man together. And imagine your next door neighbor turns up the same. You say, "Hi, Jack, how did you end up here? I know the soul, but you look a bit funny. You got 50 legs this time, but you're shorter than mine. I have 80 legs, 10 meters longer than you. What happened? Maybe my soul was a better giver, and here now I show myself in that dimension." Wouldn't that be the same when the soul of the man manifests itself in the presence of the soul of the creator? What shall your soul manifest itself in the dimension, in the presence of the soul of the creator? Soul of a giver, soul of a man, soul of a criminal, which is you don't give and you want to take, and there is no room for it till you learn that the giving is the beginning of the position of taking. Now you understand how the world of creation has no plasma, has no matter state, has no emotion, has no nothing. To you decide in what proportion the strength of the field of the universe you would like to interact with, or you would like to share with. Next time, when you put the pot on the fire and you heat it up, call it love. And when you take the entity and you put it in the freezer, call it gravitational taking. Now we understand the world of the science is the same, depending on the condition of the strength of the environment and the interaction of the fields in that environment. Now, the world of chemistry, looking from plasmatic field strength of the electrons and protons, not as electrons in the matter state, has totally different meaning. Creates a new horizon in the world of the material development. Though I create the soul of the carbon, and with it, I get a carbon which is beneficial to the society where it is, and I don't create a CO2, which you call it environmental global warming, which damages things. Then even that carbon has a soul to serve. Then what would be the strength of the soul of the man? What would the soul of the man be able to do to all the souls on this planet if it elevates itself to the soul, the strength of the soul of the creator, and its love for Mitra? Mitra is amongst us and it's within us. It's grown to be part of us as is the mother of the creation of all of us. Now we have a physicality where we can praise the beauty of the creation of Mitra. What are we going to do when we realize the strength of the dimension of understanding of the creation? Mankind has reached a point to walk away from making so many names for the same process. Now has to find a name in a dimension of emotion to understand how you change love to death, creating a child through the love of the body, to using the same body to create cancer, to bring the demise to physicality. Is the psychosomatic change of temperature or the change of pressure? Is that the magnetical or gravitational? Hasn't been the understanding of what we call the pressure gravitational and magnetical for the giving, for the love. Now we understand. You have a gravity and you have a magnetic field. You have a temperature and you have a pressure. How would you convert the emotion of one to the other, or carry in essence the emotion of totality? This is what I said to you the teaching has changed, and it will change because now you have to understand the parallel, the understanding of the fields of the plasma and the matter state, and what is what, and how you can interfere, and how you interact. The teaching of creation is the teaching to understand the interaction of the fields which led to that creation. There is nothing else in the world of creation except interaction of what in the world of cooking you want rice, you want potato. In the world of creation, you want plasma. You want free fields to be able to decide how to interact to become the rice or the potato. This is the part which I many times explain. Vegetarians say, I don't eat meat, I don't kill an animal. Have you forgotten? Every grain of the rice has a soul. Have you forgotten that you have fooled yourself by deferring and fooling yourself in what the strength feels you want to take? This is what we call, this is what we see, this is what we understand, this is what we interact with. This is where the world of creation takes a new dimension and meaning. This is where the world of creation, where the world of science, where the world of plasma, where the world of interaction of the fields creates for us to understand new dimensions, new understanding, new processes, new look in the whole world of understanding of the creation. Then, would you like me to increase the emotion of love, or would you like me to increase the temperature of the room? Would I melt you with my love, or would you melt in the temperature in the dimension of physicality? I can melt you with giving and loving, and the environment can melt you with temperature to burn, to liquidify. Doesn't this happen when the soul of the man leaves the soul of physicality in the coffin, that we become that liquid again? We change the state due to conversion of the fields of our own, or nothing else. Now we understand. We need to understand as we change the soul of the man to the matter state of physicality of the environment. Then, what is the next level of understanding? Why do we have to understand this? Because if we don't understand this, do not become the man of the universe. Do not become the travelers of the universe. Because if you get it wrong and don't understand the strength of the field of the emotion, then you'll be trapped in the liquidification of your matter state of emotion. And that'll be not much good, because the soul will be free in so many ways.